If this is your memory of Morphe, then I can assure you things have changed. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video I'm sharing with you a full face of Morphe makeup. Morphe have come a long way in the last couple of years, and today I'm going to tell you what I think you should skip and what I think is really worth your money. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. We're going to kick off with eyebrows, and we're going to start with the Nano eyebrow pencil from Morphe. This is in the shade Java, and look, I don't usually use eyebrow pencils to fill in my eyebrows because I don't have any eyebrows. No, so I have to use an eyebrow pen usually. And I'm just going to be really honest. Their eyebrow products are not my favorite. I think if you had full eyebrows and you didn't have a whole lot to fill in, this would be really good. And the thing is, I should love this because it has this micro tip. You see, that's the shade Java. So it should be great, but I don't know. I mean, it's okay as far as eyebrow pencils go, but yeah, there's just better out there, I think. And it's a shame because I'm always on the search for a micro brow product just to give me those fake brow hairs. But this is just okay. It's nothing super special in my opinion. I guess if you only had little sparse bits to fill in, then you're good to go. But if you're like me and your whole brow is sparse, you probably need a bit more. I think Morphe should come out with a brow pen, really. That would be great. So to hold my 3 eyebrow hairs in place, I'm going to go in with this brow holding product from Morphe, the Micro Manager Gripping Brow Gel. Now, again, this should be absolutely amazing. Look at how teeny tiny that applicator is. And in theory, it should be amazing, but it's the formula really that I'm not a big fan of. I prefer kind of waxes as opposed to gels because I find that waxy type brow holding products tend to cling onto every single teeny tiny hair, which, let's be real, I need that. And I find that this kind of disturbs the product underneath. Yeah, and it's also shiny. It's a shiny brow gel, and I don't appreciate shiny eyebrows. I just don't. So yeah, the fact that this is number 1, shiny, and number 2, it tends to disturb the product that's on underneath. For those 2 reasons, they are not favorites of mine. It's a shame because on paper, they should be. Let's move on to the under eyes, and we're going to be using a colour corrector and a concealer from Morphe. These are the Wakeup Artist Under Eye Correcting Concealer. So the same line, you can either choose a correcting shade or a concealer shade or both. Now, this colour corrector here, I have this in the shade Peach, and I can assure you this is one of the best, if not the best, colour corrector I've ever used. So it is quite big, bigger than normal doe foot applicators, which I don't mind. I usually prefer ones that are a little bit more slimline, but it's totally fine. So I have the colour corrector in the shade Peach, and I have the concealer in the shade 5W Sand. So for the corrector, I'm just going to pick up a little bit on my ring finger, and I'm just going to tap it under my eyes. This is honestly one of the most hydrating and serum-like products that you can find, whether it be at the drugstore or at high end. It's phenomenally flattering on mature under eyes. I also have very dry and dark under eyes, as you can see, and this literally neutralizes that darkness as well as hydrating my dry skin. It's beautiful. You could just go off about your day with just using that colour corrector if you want. And if you do not have darkness to conceal, you don't need the colour corrector, just this will be perfect on its own. But just make sure you give a little minute for that colour corrector just to dry down a little bit. So just going over that colour corrector, and I don't need as much concealer because I have the colour corrector on. But again, this is an extremely serum-like concealer, so it doesn't really matter if you go in a little bit heavy-handed with it, because it's still going to feel hydrating, it's still going to smooth out those under eyes, and it's not going to be a creasy concealer. Now, I say this every time I talk about concealer, and this concealer is no different. If you have fine lines there to start with, and you put product over the top, then you're going to get a smidgy bit of creasing. I always get a little bit of settling with concealers. It's normal, okay? Under eyes have wrinkles when you get to my age. When you get to 43, you will start to see those fine lines. Absolutely beautiful. Those two together are literally a match made in heaven. Now, although it's a beautiful concealer, it's definitely not full coverage. I would say this is a light to medium buildable. So that's why they work really nicely together. But if you do want to build up that under eye, you can. I probably will, but I'm going to wait until I've done my eyes and then see how everything's sat underneath my eyes together before I build it up. Moving on to foundation now, and this is the Morphe Lightform Extended Hydration Foundation. Not a new product to me. I tried this, I think it was at the start of 2024, and I couldn't believe how amazing this foundation was. I wasn't expecting it. So I have this in the shade Medium 08N. As you can see, very serum-like, like the concealer. Blends beautifully. So I would describe this as a medium to buildable foundation, and I'd say that this gives somewhere between a natural to a satin finish to the skin. It really reminds me of the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. They are so similar in the way that they look. So I'll apply it to this side first and just dot a little bit around. So yeah, this foundation was a complete shock to me when I tried it. I think I got it as soon as it was released last year and had zero expectations. I'd never really tried a complexion product from Morphe prior to trying this. And yeah, blown away, literally blown away. And then I forgot about it in a drawer. And then I have this series where I go back to forgotten favorites, to makeup that I used to love and just never reached for, and then rediscovered it again, and I was so pleased to. Can you see how that has just melted into my skin? I should have said actually that I've already prepped with my Embryolisse Primer Moisturiser, and yeah, that's just a normal moisturiser. It's not too glowy or anything, but you can still see a little bit of glow because of that priming moisturiser. But this is definitely not a dewy foundation. I did a video a long time ago where I compared this to the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and when you look at them side by side, literally look identical, literally the same. It's crazy. Oh, and I'm applying this with my BK Beauty 101. I'm not doing very well today, am I, with communication? And this foundation is a lot cheaper than the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I think this retails for about 20 euros-ish, which I think is well worth it. So I'm just going to build this up just a little bit, just to show you that it is buildable. That's how a full face is looking. If you have mature and dry skin, I think you'll love it. If you have combo oily skin, I'd also think that you would love it. I really do think this is suitable for all skin types. It's beautiful. Let me show you a quick before and after of it. So if you are on the hunt for an affordable foundation which blurs and smooths the skin, which doesn't look heavy or cakey, doesn't sit into lines, which is just incredibly flattering on mature skin, it's this one, the Morphe Lightform Foundation, a foundation that just does not get the praise that it deserves. It's beautiful. Let's move on to a little bit of contour. This is the Shapelifter Micro Contour Stick. I really like this little product. Now, being honest, I don't really use contour and bronzer at the same time usually because I'm a lazy one. Here I am. I don't usually go in with both. but obviously today we are going to go in with both. So I really like this. This is the shade Enhanced, and it's just a perfect contour shade. So it has that cool undertone that you would expect to get from a contour, and isn't that just perfect for applying contour? Because contour is supposed to mimic the natural structure of your face. So for example, cheekbones, and this is just ideal. And I have not tried the Victoria Beckham contour stick, but why would you want to pay the price of a VB contour stick when you have this, which is a phenomenal contour? So all I'm going to do is draw here, just kind of above where my cheekbone is, because I want to kind of lift my face rather than drag it down. We don't need any more dragging, no. I think I'm going to use my BK Beauty 113 for this because it's really nice and angled, and I'm just going to blend in an upwards direction. Look at that. Talk about effortless. It's gorgeous and it's buildable. Now, obviously, a precision stick like this is ideal for places that are smaller. So for example, your nose. Now I'm not going to do my nose because my nose is pretty skinny anyway. So I don't really want to draw attention to the skinniness. So I'm going to leave my nose. But if you feel like you need a little bit of nose contour, this is perfection for that. It's not muddy looking. It's so creamy and so beautiful to blend. So we'll go a little bit around the hairline here because I have a fairly big forehead. Yeah. That's okay. I don't mind having a big forehead. Tell you what, we'll do a little bit here where I've got jowling. If you are scared of contour, if it worries you, if you're a little bit intimidated, this so beginner friendly, so user friendly. Anybody can use this. I promise you, you will not mess it up. So we're going to move on to bronzer now, and we're going to use this, which I adore. So this is the Morphe Sudden Heat Creamy Bronzing Stick. This is in the shade Ignite. So the difference between a contour and a bronzer, so contour mimics the structure of your face, whereas bronzer is supposed to warm up the face, so warm up your complexion a little bit. This is the most beautiful cream bronzer. I adore this. Look at how creamy that is. I'm a huge, big cream bronzer fan, a cream fan in general. Okay, anything cream, give it to me. I love it. And this did not disappoint when I first used this. So I'm going to apply it with this brush, which is BK Beauty A507. People are probably wondering why I haven't got any Morphe brushes actually. And I did think that when I started to set up for this video, I thought maybe I should have used Morphe brushes, but I think Morphe took a little bit of a step back from their brushes. I know they still have a brush line, but I know that they have kind of put more of their focus onto the makeup now, which is very much appreciated. Honestly, number one, I don't need any brushes. I am quite happy with the brushes that I have. I don't need any. It's not like I won't be opposed to trying them. It just wasn't in my brain for some reason. So very, very natural looking, and definitely the type of bronzer that you can go in like this directly on the face with, and it's not going to disturb your makeup underneath. I would 1000% recommend the contour and the bronzer. I love both of them, and they are so handy for travel as well. So I do have a couple of blushes from Morphe. The first one is the Morphe Hot Shot blush drops. These are beautiful. If you are looking for something that is very sheer, very lightweight and very hydrating, then you will love this. It's a beautiful liquid blush. However, we're not going in with the liquid blush today though. We're going in with the cream blush because this blush is one of my absolute holy grails. The Morphe blush trios. It's no secret around here that these are my favorites. I adore them. This is Blind Date, and that's what we're going to be using today. So in here you have a cream blush, you have a highlighter balm, and you have a powder blush as well. I do use these, but I usually stick with this, which is the cream blush at the top. I do have this Colour Story as well, which is Beach Bonfire, which is perfect for me for the summertime. Absolutely gorgeous as well, but Blind Date has my heart. So this is Blind Date. So you have the cream blush at the top, the highlightery balm in the middle, and then you've got the powder. So I'm going to apply this blush with my BK Beauty 109, and all I'm going to do is dip straight into it. And you would expect it to have a really, really dewy finish, but it doesn't. It has a true satin finish. There is luminosity to it, but it's not dewy. Oh, it's gorgeous. It really is beautiful. This blush actually got me hooked on cream blushes. Blush is probably my favourite step in makeup anyway. I just love it. I really do. Unhealthily, probably. But I was never, big into cream blushes until I tried this. And now all I want in my life is cream blush. That's it. I just want cream blush. And if you have been looking and eyeing up the Patrick Ta blushes, which also gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. These are an amazing alternative to those, honestly. And you get an extra product. You get the balm as well. So yeah, this is a great alternative to the Patrick Ta, which are a lot more expensive than these. If there was one word to describe these blushes, it would be flawless. I think they're so flattering. They last amazingly well for a blush. Just love it. Love it. Love everything about it. Definitely one of my favourite products of 2025. Absolutely. Before we powder the face, I'm going to move on to the eyes. So we are going to go in with one of these. These are the Morphe Solo Artist Priming Cream Eyeshadows. Now, from what I can gather, these are supposed to be either an eyeshadow primer or a one and done eyeshadow. Now, I did buy one of these ages ago, but just never used it because when I got it, I was a little bit disappointed with the shade. So this is the shade Chorus, and it's just too dark for me and my eyes. It's too dark and just a little bit too cool toned. So that's the shade Chorus, and I'm sure some people would absolutely love that. But for me and my deep set eyes, too dark, too cool. So I never used it. And then I decided to go and buy a different shade. So this is the shade Debut. And as far as I'm aware, these are supposed to be a really good dupe for the MAC paint pots, which I love. That's the shade Debut. It's quite hard to see. It has a little bit of a pinky undertone there. So I am going to use this as a primer. All I'm going to do is put the teeny tiniest amount over the lid just to even out the discoloration of my eyelids. I'm going to use this instead of using another eyeshadow primer or concealer. I'm not going to use a lot of it because I don't want it to interfere with the powder eyeshadows that I'm going to be using. So just going in really, really lightly. I've got quite veiny eyelids as well as under eyes. The joy. So just evening that out. So I did pull out my old school Morphe eyeshadows before. Believe me, things have changed since 2016. These are the Artistry palettes, and honestly, I didn't really love the mattes in here. I liked these shimmers. I think they're really nice, but I wasn't a big fan of the actual matte eyeshadows in there. However, things changed when I discovered these little beauties. These are the Chroma Plus 12-pan palettes. Insanely good. So I've got Flickering Sands here and Rose Frequency here. I've used these many times on my channel, and if you scroll back through my videos, you'll be able to see these in action. Everything about these palettes scream high-end. They really do. Everything from these insane shimmers to the toppers to the mattes. Just gorgeous. I would recommend either of these hand on heart, and you get the most insanely good mirror with them as well. I know a mirror isn't everything, but it's one of the best mirrors I've ever had in an eyeshadow palette. However, today we are not using one of those palettes because I picked up a new Morphe eyeshadow palette. Now, I don't know whether this is a limited edition or just for the holidays, but it popped up and I thought, I need that. I need a little bit of that. It's this palette here. Look at all my fingerprints all over that. Don't look, don't look. This is called the Naughty Eyeshadow Palette. I love the packaging, isn't it gorgeous? But I just want to say one thing. I'm going to have to be really careful because when I first opened this shade here had fallen out, okay? It came loose. So I'm really scared that it's going to fall out again. So I'm going to be really careful when I show you this. So I would describe this as fairly cool toned actually. But there's a shade here and it has this kind of pinky purpley lavender shift. And I haven't used it yet. I've not used any of these on my eyes yet. I've been waiting to do it with you. The only thing I'd say is that there's not a lot of substance behind some of these shimmers, so they do feel quite like toppers or glitters rather than solid shimmers, but they are still really pretty. So I don't know what I'm doing today. Not a clue. We're just gonna wing it. We're gonna wing it. Okay, let's kick off by going in with this shade here as a transition. Now, that eyeshadow is very, very deceiving. It looks the same shade as my skin, but it's not at all. Gosh, I love Morphe eyeshadows. I never thought I would become a Morphe lover. Who'd have thought it? And you know what? I was really annoyed. I really, really didn't like how Morphe treated their employees when they shut down all those stores and people were left with no jobs. That's so unacceptable. And look, I think we all know what happened. Morphe were very influencer led. We all know that they had 7 billion collabs with huge influencers such as James Charles, such as Jeffree Star. And honestly, those influencers led to their success, but they also led to their downfall as well. So Morphe have completely moved away from that. And I don't know how much interaction Morphe have with influencers these days. Obviously, I've never been sent anything by Morphe, not a little thing. I don't know how much stuff they do send out to people, but I bought all of this with my own money, if you are wondering. And I'm happy to do that. I'm so happy to buy Morphe products. I love them. But look at how well that's blending. You cannot tell me that this couldn't pass for a high-end eyeshadow palette. Oh, and I forgot to say that I'm blending this out with my BK Beauty N13 brush. So, I mean, I have to go in with a little bit of this. Of course, just a smidgy bit. I'm going to use a Refa 13 brush. I don't know how pigmented this is going to be. It looks it. Let's just pop a little bit on. What a gorgeous shade. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes with purples, you have to be a little bit careful because you can end up looking like you've got a bit of a black eye. But this is just such a perfect shade. Kind of looks fuchsia. I'm just going to use a little bit of that. Just a bit of a pop. Now you've got two browns down here and they are very, very similar. That's a little bit disappointing. This one here on the lash line. And I'll use a BK Beauty 209 for that. I'll bring a little bit under the lash line as well. They blend so beautifully. I know I keep saying this, but they really do. Right, I'm going to go in with this colour up here. I think it's more of a topper, but I'm hoping it will go over that eyeshadow primer really nicely. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. It has this really stunning shift in there. So it's kind of pink, blue, lavender. Oh, it's really nice. Just going to take a flat shader brush. Maybe I'll go in up here with this one, the lightest shimmer, one of the lightest shimmers, and just take that here. So if you've been umming and ahhing about trying an eyeshadow palette from Morphe again, this is your sign to maybe go and give them another shot. Whichever one of these you choose, amazing. They do 6 pans as well that people rave about. Really stunning, and not just the shimmers, the mattes as well. Amazing. This is actually the newest item from Morphe to my collection. This is the Morphe mascara. It's called the Make It Big Volumizing Mascara. And the first thing I'm going to tell you about this is it's a little bit gloopy when you first open it. So my biggest piece of advice for you is to wipe it all off. So the brush is fairly big, which I don't normally appreciate. But if you persevere with this mascara, it's really nice. The application isn't that fun though. So I have to get a tissue and I have to wipe off all that excess, because if you don't, it could get a little bit clumpy. So I just like to take the bristles and coat the tips of the lashes first before I do anything. So just go in at the tip. You don't need to double dip this at all. Just use what's there, because the brush holds a lot of product. And then once I've done that, I'll go in at the base. So looking down into my mirror and just wiggling and just brushing it through. So the one thing I'll tell you about this mascara, it's extremely lengthening. And when I first used this, it transferred to the top of my brow bone when I was applying it, because it doesn't dry down quickly. So that's a good thing, because it gives you time to work. But if you then raise up your eyelashes, it's going to transfer to your brow bone. It doesn't do that after it's dried down though, only when you are applying. So just be extra careful. So I actually really do like this mascara. I really like the look of it. I think it really does give me length and volume to my lashes, and it lasts beautifully all day. Bearing in mind, I don't have oily eyelids, so I don't really get a lot of smudging and transferring during the day. The only thing I'd say is I don't really enjoy applying this. I mean, I don't enjoy applying any mascara, to be honest. I think it could cause issues. That's all I'd say about it. But other than that, I really like it. The finished result is gorgeous. Moving on to powder, and I picked up a mini powder. This is the Mini Bacon Set Setting Powder. It's just a translucent powder. Looks like this, and you only get 2 grams of product in here, which is fine for me. I don't use a lot of powder anyway, and I've got about 20 billion of them on the go already. So this is perfect for me. And do you know what? This is nice. It's a nice powder. Is it my favorite translucent powder? Not really. I'm applying this with my I don't know what it is, to be honest. This is a Morphe brush from back in the day, and I use it every day of my life. I don't think you can even get this anymore, but it's just an eyeshadow brush, and I use it for my powder under my eyes. So that's how my under eyes are looking at the minute. As you can see, completely crease free. And this is a good powder in the fact that it does give you a little bit of coverage at the same time as setting your concealer. So it is really nice. It's quite smoothing. It's not the best loose powder I've ever used in my life, but it's still good. It's good enough for me. So yeah, if you do like a little bit of coverage with your powder, this is great. So I'm actually going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to take some just in my T-zone. It's lovely on the face. I actually prefer this on my face than my under eyes, to be honest. Definitely one that you can use all over the face comfortably, and it will be very, very smoothing and blurring. Yeah, that's lovely actually, isn't it? Really nice. Hi all, future me just popping in. Sorry to interrupt, but I realised as I was editing this video that I had completely forgotten one incredible Morphe product to show you. This powder. This is one of my favourite Morphe products. So how I missed it, I have no idea. So this is the Cloudlight Soft Glow Veil Powder, and I have this in the shade Sunrise. So I am just going to pop a little bit on for you now, just so that you don't miss out on knowing about this product. So this is different to the translucent powder that I've just popped on. This is more of a finishing powder. So the loose powder will help to set everything in place and keep it there all day. Whereas this really is just to kind of blur everything together, kind of give you a really soft and filtered look to the skin. Now, despite this being a finishing powder, I definitely feel like I can use it to set my makeup in place as well. Now, not everyone is going to have that same experience, and it may depend on your skin type. So in order to like this product, you are going to have to enjoy a luminous finish to the skin. So I'm just going to pop a little bit on for you. Can't believe I forgot this. I'm so silly. So I'm going to pop some on with my BK Beauty N15 brush. And I have the Morphe foundation on again today. So I'm just going to brush kind of across the cheeks and just down the center of my face. Now this is very, very similar to the Hourglass finishing powder. I think it's maybe a touch more luminous, but I don't mean sparkly. When I mean luminous, I don't mean it's going to be sparkly, because it's not. It just has a little bit of radiance to it. And so it's very, very subtle, but it is so pretty. It genuinely is. Now I wouldn't use this under my eyes, because if you use something that's quite luminous under your eyes, then you are going to highlight things, and generally under eyes can be problematic. So I wouldn't recommend using something like this under the eyes, but on the rest of the face, just to give that beautiful, subtle, and I mean really subtle glow to the face. It's amazing. So yeah, shame on me for forgetting about this, but better late than never. So we'll go back to original me and finish off the makeup. Look, I've got a few lip products. A couple of them I've already used on the channel, but this one I've never used on the channel. This is the Morphe Drip Glass Glazed High Shine Lip Gloss. So this is the shade Nude Gleam. And before I put the lipstick on, I want you to see this, because I'm going to be using this over my lipstick, but I want you to see it just on my lips as it is. Nice little skinny doe foot there, which is great for precision application. So I want you to see this on its own, because it does have colour to it and it is quite pinky. Really nice lip gloss, not sticky at all. Feels really lovely and hydrating, and I'm not the biggest gloss fan, but I'm a fan of this. I am going to be using this over a lipstick because I want to show you that as well. It's very, very flattering on the lips, isn't it? It plumps out those lip lines, but it's not a plumping gloss. Right, let me just take that off. Now these lip products that I've got, these shades of the lip liner and lipstick that I've got, I know don't go with my eye look today, but we might be able to gel it all together with the lip gloss over the top. So here I have the Morphe Signature Lip Pencil in the shade Honey. And I also have the new Lip Filter Matte Lipstick in the shade Honey as well. They are quite warm, whereas I feel like my makeup today, well, my eyes are quite cool. So let's just see if we can create something on the lips that's going to look good. Now, in relation to whether I recommend these, the lip liner, 1000%. I really like this, and you get a ton of product. Look at how big it is. It's much bigger than a typical lip liner. These are lovely. Now, they're not anything innovative or different to any other lip liner that you're going to try, but don't be buying high-end lip liners when you can buy one of these. They are really creamy, they last absolutely beautifully, and they come in the most insanely beautiful range of colours. As for the lipstick, I've had better matte lipsticks. It's fine, it's okay, but I don't think I'd repurchase another one. They're not creamy enough for me and my dry lips, but they are nice. I really like the shade. I think it's beautiful, but I feel like it enhances my lip lines. So I want to go over this lipstick with this lip gloss and see what happens. Okay, what's the worst that could happen? I think they work really nicely together. Okay, we avoided a disaster. So we are going to finish off with some setting spray. I've used it once and it was really nice. In fact, I've never used a mister quite like this one. Most insanely gorgeous mister, and I wasn't expecting it. And actually, it sounds empty. I don't know how this works because it doesn't sound like there's anything in there, but there is. This is the mini, by the way. They do a big one of this. This is the Continuous Setting Mist. So it's a microfine mist that sets liquid or powder makeup with a radiant finish. A continuous air-powered spray delivers even and controlled application. That is so beautiful, honestly. How does this work? Now, there is some fragrance to it, but it smells really nice. Yeah, it does. It smells lovely. It really does help your makeup to last. And as you can see, it's not a super glowy finish, but it is fairly radiant. It's still drying down, to be fair. I always tend to over apply setting spray because I like the feel of it. And so there we go, a full face of Morphe. Honestly, everything is good. The only thing I think I wouldn't repurchase would be the eyebrow products, but that's it. Everything else are top tier, actual top tier. If you haven't tried any Morphe recently, you should. You should try maybe 1 or 2 products. Choose them over anything luxury that you've got in your basket, because I tell you, they perform the same. So do let me know, what have you tried from Morphe this year? What have you been loving, or what do you have your eye on? I want to hear all of your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.